This keeps getting worse, as Shams Charania has revealed that Mitchell Robinson is out until January now. He will not be returning this calendar year, which had a direct impact on the Knicks trading for Karl-Anthony Towns, and we're going to break all this down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video because, as we now know, Mitchell Robinson is going to be out for an extended period of time. It was initially seeming like, okay, he's out until December or January. Well, Shams broke down some not great news for us, as we can see
I don't
here.
want to break your heart so early, but I'm told he will be out the remainder of the year 2024. He will
knew you'd bad news, Sean.
He will aim for his season debut.
How long you been here? 3 minutes and you're bringing me bad news already?
It might be bad on the front end, but he is aiming to make his return. And he had 2 surgeries last season. It is imperative for the Knicks, for Mitchell Robinson, for him to come back in peak form and take his time from these injuries. And they're hopeful he's going to be top.
Not good stuff, guys. We don't need to see the rest of the clip. We know the details here. We know how this goes. Look, losing Mitchell Robinson until January sucks. Don't get me wrong. But honestly, I don't mind the fact that the Knicks are taking it this way. They're moving very slowly with Mitchell Robinson, and that is the way to go. He is injury prone. I know people in the comments will say, no, he's not injury prone because of this. Guess what? Mitchell Robinson's injury prone, which is unfortunate because he's a phenomenal player, way better than the stats say. As last season, Mitchell Robinson put up 5.6 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, a block, and a steal. All numbers that were better before his injury, but he played on an injured ankle, which definitely messed things up. The stress fracture, he came back too soon, got injured by Joel Embiid, comes back, gets injured again. Basically, Mitch's foot was really, really screwed up, and now at 26 years old, he still has room to grow into an even better player than he was this season, and at the beginning of the season, he was having his best NBA year before it got cut short by injury, something that's happened to Mitch essentially every other year of his career over the last 4 to 5 seasons, which, you know, it is what it is. It's not great, and the New York Knicks knew they needed a center. They've wanted Karl-Anthony Towns for a very long time, so they decided, okay, now is the time to pull the trigger on the Karl-Anthony Towns deal because the New York Knicks are just in this very weird spot right now. I mean, they're contenders. They gave a ton of draft picks and a ton of assets for OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, and then they trade for Karl-Anthony Towns. And, I mean, we've seen it. The Knicks team looks phenomenal. They forced 30 turnovers against the Washington Wizards last preseason game. The Knicks have done so much well this season, and this offseason and last season, just to build a very well-rounded contender, something that Karl-Anthony Towns was really capping this all off at, as the Knicks flipped essentially Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, 8 first-round draft picks, Bojan Bogdanovic, which was kind of Quentin Grimes, if you want to go down that, along with Evan Fournier. Like, the Knicks gave all this up to get OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, who were phenomenal defenders, who we saw last night. Mikal was obviously mailing it in on defense with the Nets because, well, frankly, he had to create more shots, and the Nets were a disaster anyway. They were just a dumpster fire that didn't know what they were doing, and it led to some interesting stuff going down, which led to tanking, and Sean Marks is a very good rebuilding general manager, which we've seen so far, and they're actually doing a great job over there now. Sean Marks just can't run a contender. He's just great at running a rebuilder. That's the kind of GM that he is. Now, you look at the Knicks, and you understand that Mitchell Robinson's an important part of this team, but the Knicks defense doesn't live and die off Mitchell Robinson like it may have used to, like in 2021 when they made the playoffs and just the Hawks ran through them because they didn't have Mitch to be their anchor on defense. Now you have OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, 2 of the best defenders in basketball. You have Mitchell Robinson. When he comes back, he's an elite rim protector. We don't need Mitchell Robinson for October, November, December. Who cares if he plays then? Yeah, the Knicks will win 3 to 4 more games over that time span because Mitchell Robinson is a very, very impactful player who affects winning at a very high rate. But at the same time, guys, would you rather him play in December, or would you rather him play in August, in April, in May, potentially June? You see what I'm getting at? It doesn't matter if Mitchell Robinson doesn't play the first few months of the season. It matters that he plays the last few months of the season, and the Knicks and Robinson know that. And as Shams mentioned, the Knicks want to go out there, and they want to preserve the health of Mitchell Robinson. And yes, Karl-Anthony Towns has been good at the power forward slot, which he will go to at times when Mitchell Robinson is healthy, or if the Knicks want to run a bigger rotation where they throw in Jericho Sims, Ariel Huckporty, who looked real good. Hopefully Moses Brown, if they could work that out. And Towns, I mean, there's no doubt he's a phenomenal player. I mean, starting at center this year, coming off a season where he put up 22 points per game with 8 rebounds. Those 8 rebounds would have been higher had Rudy Gobert not been on his team, but Rudy Gobert is a rebounding machine. 3 assists per game, phenomenal passer, probably going to have his career high in assists. Shooting 41% from 3, 50% from the field, 41% on corner threes. Excellent catch and shoot player. Good in the post. Just the most well-rounded 3-level scoring big man in basketball. The problem is he fouls a lot, especially when he's at center, because he can't really protect the rim very well. But here's the deal. How much do you need Karl-Anthony Towns to protect the rim when you have OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges out there stopping anyone from getting to the rim? The Knicks have such good perimeter defense, they can live with not having the greatest rim protection, especially when you do have a phenomenal rim protector on your team who is going to play. He's just not ready yet. Now, it sucks that he's clearly very injured, and it's going to take a while for him to get back. But if Mitch can get back, if he can play at that high level, that is going to be huge for the Knicks. It gives them way more versatility to run way more lineups, and he's just the best pure center guy who won't be playing power forward on the roster. Now, I say that, and there are some other guys on the team like Jericho Sims, who last season averaged 2 points and 3 rebounds in very sporadic low minutes and basically a third-string role. But there's also just, they have other talents that they can go to at the big man spot. The problem is, there's guys like Moses Brown, who you should bring in, let him have these good numbers. I showed that highlight video of him last time I made a video on this Moses Brown stuff going down, where he's going to be in the G League unless the Knicks can figure out a way to pay him, and it'd be really cool if they could, because Moses Brown is a very underrated center on this team. And, I mean, he's just a very talented player. When he actually got rotational minutes, he put up 8 and 8 with a block and a half per game on the Thunder. Like, the man's a good player. People are sleeping on Moses Brown, but I did a whole video on that. We don't need to keep going over this. There's also Precious, who, yeah, he's not a pure center. He's a hybrid of a center and a power forward, but he's held it down well. Around a block per game, 7.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, 50% from the field, positive plus minus, positive value over replacement player. He's a very, very solid player for the team. And then you also, as I mentioned, in very short sporadic minutes, you have Jericho Sims. You have his 2 points, 3 rebounds per game, 69% from the field. Could end up having a great season with the Knicks. And then there's also guys like Ariel Hukporti who you could throw in there, or maybe someone who the Knicks are going to trade for. But it now starts to seem like the Knicks are going to keep Mitchell Robinson around for the foreseeable future and have him be their rim protector. And hopefully, if you hear that siren out there, that won't be an ambulance taking him to go get another surgery, because, look, the Knicks are going to need that rim protection when it gets down to it in playoffs. As my ring light just completely falls over, and we're just going to keep filming through this because, well, we are. You like how my green screen completely freaked out also when that happened? Real nice, right towards the end of the video, too. So, guys, honestly, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I have to go fix my ring light now. This is great. Have a great day. Go Knicks. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine without Mitchell Robinson. They really are, especially because he's going to come back for the most important part of the season. I'm not worried. You shouldn't be either. Later, y'all.